Hello world! Have you ever been curious about the use of today's media and technology? Today, I want to dive deeper into how the Chavez vs. Gonzalez case challenged the balance between national security and the right to freedom of expression, all under the proper use of digital communication and technology itself, with the Philippine Supreme Court ruling on the legality of wiretapping and the limits of government surveillance in this modern time. I am Gladwin Rosario, a diploma in computer engineering technology student at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Institute of Technology. And as someone who is fascinated by both law and technology, I realize how these legal battles intersect and reveal the delicate balance between the public's right to know, freedom of speech, and the ever-evolving landscape of digital communication. This law may also connect with the broader framework of Republic Act Number 4200, specifically an act to prohibit and penalize wiretapping and other related violations of the privacy of communication and for other purposes. An essential piece of legislation in the Philippines that seeks to protect the privacy of communication, which we also tackle in parts of this video. So, what exactly was the case all about? Simply put, this case revolves around the public's right to information and the government's efforts to protect national security. Former journalist Tabes filed a petition requesting access to government wiretap records. He argued that, as part of the public, he had the right to know what the government was doing, especially when it involved wiretapping, which can be a tool that involves people's privacy. On the other hand, the government, represented by Department of Justice Secretary Gonzales, refused to disclose the information, citing that revealing these records could compromise on national security and jeopardize ongoing investigations. So, the case brought to the forefront the tension between transparency and security, a topic that remains highly relevant today. The facts of the case start with an odd tape that allegedly recorded a conversation between President Rolim Macapagal-Arroyo and a Comelec official about manipulating the election results. The release of the tape sparked a big debate. Some people wanted the truth to come out, but the government argued that airing the tape could hurt national security. The DOJ Secretary Gonzalo Gonzales warned that anyone who had or broadcast the tape could face legal charges under the Anti-Wiretapping Act. The National Telecommunications Commission, or NTC, also got involved, telling media outlets not to air the tape, threatening severe consequences. This case highlights the complex balance between the public's right to know and the need to protect sensitive information for national security, two important rights that are often in conflict. Now, the Supreme Court's decision ultimately sided with the government. The court ruled that the government was within its rights to withhold the wiretap records, emphasizing that national security concerns could indeed outweigh the public's right to know. They recognized the right to access government records is not absolute. In fact, the court highlighted that certain information, especially that which pertains to national security, can be restricted in order to protect the greater public good. In this case, the ruling affirmed that the privacy rights and security concerns would justify limits on access to information, particularly when it relates to issues as sensitive as surveillance and intelligence gathering. Now, as someone passionate about technology and privacy, this case made me reflect on how delicate the balance is. RA 4200 is a law that prohibits wiretapping and protects our privacy, which is something I strongly believe in. However, what happens when the government uses wiretapping for national security? The law allows wiretapping under strict conditions, but only if done legally and with proper oversight. The court's ruling in Chavez vs. Gonzalez makes me think about how laws need to protect individual freedoms while recognizing the real threats that may require extraordinary measures. It's tough to balance. While the right to privacy is fundamental, I can understand how national security may require some level of confidentiality, but we must ensure that there is accountability and transparency to prevent the abuse of power. And for me, the key takeaway from this case is that privacy and security are both vital, but we have to be careful to not let one outweigh the other without proper analysis. As we move forward in a increasingly digital world, this balance will only become more important. The lessons from Chavez vs. Gonzalez and RA 4200 are clear. Our laws should protect privacy, but they should also have the flexibility to address national security in a controlled and accountable manner. This mainly stems from how we should use technology for the societal and greater good in our evolving modern times. Ultimately, this case reminds us that technology and the law must evolve together to keep pace with new challenges. As we embrace digital innovations, We must also ensure that our legal frameworks protect personal freedoms without compromising national security. The key lies in transparency, accountability, and a thoughtful, balanced approach to using technology for the greater good. The lessons learned here are not just legal, but ethical. How we choose to protect privacy while safeguarding security will shape the future of both our society and our technological landscape. Thanks for listening to my thoughts on this case. It's an important issue, especially as technology continues to shape the way we communicate. I think it is a topic that affects us all. Therefore, leaving the questions, how do you think we can ensure that our privacy is protected while still maintaining the security we need in today's world? And so, until then, see ya!